views and opinions expressed on the Big Llama Show are those of the host and guest. They do not reflect that of our sponsors, advertisers, or employers. Enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
Yeah, it's in the, she ruckus. That beat, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Wagon to the million, Louis V about that. Stacking paper limitless, what you know about that? I'm getting paper, seats in the club, hands up in the air. Wagon to the million, Louis V about that. Stacking paper limitless, what you know about that?
Greetings, Llama Nation. Welcome to the Big Llama Show. I'm the Big Llama, and this is the Sunday night live stream. And as you know, this show is not done by me alone. It is needed that we have to facilitate this with a co-host. Otherwise, the show does not work. The co-host with the most, my man AD. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you today?
What up, brother? Another good week of content for us.
You know, it's been just fun, just to do fun stuff all week long, man, and some content, and
Yep.
I had some fun with social media today.
Never dance on TikTok, dude.
but listen, but the cool thing is I didn't dance. It just went wavy. I just stood there. I think I moved my head. That's it.
No, you were bobbing your head.
I moved my head. That's it. there was nothing else happening. So, you know, if you guys are wondering
into the TikTok trends,
you know, I gotta get in. I gotta get in there and get some more. It's funny. I'm not even planning on growing viewers on TikTok, but I've been growing viewers. So, you know, we try a little bit of everything. So, man, how was your week, man? How are things going, man?
Man, good week. You know, school, working out, streaming when I can. My stream schedule has been taking a hit because I've got so much other things, but it's dope to see you know, the viewership still stay around when I do actually go live, and you see the chat engaged. Last night we had a great talk. We were just talking about it. It was just a random stream. Like, there was nothing. I didn't game at all. Nothing. It was just straight us conversating about random stuff. It was a good time. This week I've raided a couple people, and I gotta say the raids are a different feeling. They add a element. It kind of shows you like where your community's at, because when you know, you're like, yo, we're gonna raid this guy. Let's go in there, throw, you know, for my chest, like throw ADs in there, and then you start seeing just like their chat go from like, you know, 1 to like 10 or 11, and then their chat just go crazy, and you start seeing followers and stuff, and they're like, oh, whoa, it's a good feeling, man. So I want to continue doing that more often.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sharing with the community and just kind of connecting with different users and different streamers, which was so much fun. And I was part of the raid on his. I forgot his name, but it was just fun. It was. Oh yeah, it was. But it was just so much fun just to get in on somebody else, and it was a good feeling to help. And I followed his channel, and I think he followed my channel, and I think he subscribed. So it was just a fun exchange. So
yeah,
I like doing stuff like that. That's always kind of fun. Our big topic this week, we're going to talk about Thor Love and Thunder. So we're going to give some folks,
will be spoken.
Yeah, spoilers for sure. We're going to get that spoiler warning probably just before we start talking about it. Or, you know, if you guys have questions about the movies, you know, hit us up in the chat for sure. Before we do that, though, I had posted this earlier, and I wanted to shout out. I don't know if she's watching right now, but it's a coworker of mine. She's a doctor, Dr. Simpson, as she goes. Got me this book, man, and it's a book of movies, essential 1,000 films to see. And what I found is, like, you know, there's a bunch of stuff in here that it'd be interesting just to kind of go through and see which one's essential, and then I'm gonna give my opinion whether I think it's essential or not. So I may go counter to that book, but it was funny because it was one of the first times that I've had somebody. First of all, she signed it. she's actually an author,
Mhm.
and she has her books. But she said she sent to the Big Llama. Um, so that was pretty funny, and it just showed that she was a fan, and she watches the show and says, "Look, you could use this on your for your content." So I found that really really interesting, and I'm thankful that somebody would invest some time to get me a gift like that. So just wanted to shout her out. I don't know if she's watching or not, but
Hey, that's dope.
anyway, yeah, I mean it was nice. It was nice. Let's see what we got in the chat. Let's see. We had Chat Mom's here, right? She
Chat
hit
Mom
us
makes
up
her
early.
return.
Oh, that's right. She's been gone for a while, man.
Yeah, her
We
phone was
missed you, Chat
broken.
Mom.
We didn't have her in the chats, and she created a fake alias to another chat. It could be Chat Mom.
So
literally the name.
So she's so famous, she's got an alias account that,
Yeah, exactly.
People are saying, it'll be Chat Mom fans.
Yep.
Jay Birdie's here.
Big Man Bird, what up, kid?
Ace is in the building. All right.
Hello.
Hey, Ace. How you doing? We
Yep.
got to Gabe. Gabe hit
My
us up with
boy.
the Yo's.
Black
And
out,
he's hitting
yes,
us up
sir.
with the Black Owl for sure. Your stream elements is what we got going on tonight. And again, this is just a sample rundown. We may or may not get to all these topics. It depends on how the chat goes. I did want to talk about our late night chats because I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
How we just sort of it just happened. So, and then Miss Marvel, if we get to that, and it's definitely Thor Love and Thunder because we really want to talk about that one. Jane's talking about the book. She says how cool. And she says it happens. So no, Chat Mom is famous, man. We when Chat Mom is on, we're listening, man. We're reading and we're listening. I think Herc is out though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he left.
He's in a training or something, or
something like that. Yeah, that man's always traveling. The content misses Herc.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, man. So let's see. What do you want to start with, man? What do you want to talk about?
I mean, we could just jump right into it.
Jump right into Thor?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We got Zelenia here.
Yeah.
What's up, Zelenia? How you doing? All right. Well, let's talk about a couple of things, right? So first, let's talk about Phase 4, because Phase 4 of Marvel, I think, is and the only reason I'm bringing it up is that, a lot of people are talking a lot of shit about Phase 4 not being as coherent and as the previous phases and so on and so forth. I don't know. I just think it's having a hard time keeping the stories coherent, but it's also allowing creators like Sam Raimi and Taika Waititi to do their own story. And so it creates sort of this silo effect where, at least in my opinion, the movies don't necessarily have this long running narrative. There are narrative points, but it's like not as tight as things leading up to Infinity War and Endgame. So a lot of people are having a lot of issue with that. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think it really matters. I think they gave, like, if they did the same formula where they had a bad guy that they keep doing the same formula, then it's gonna get repetitive. So it's like they're letting the creators actually create this time, just go around. They're giving them not free reign, but they're giving them reign to really put their visions into the Marvel universe, and I think that's good. I don't think we need a cohesive story every time. We don't need, and that's why I knew we weren't gonna get like any hints of like the next bad guy in this movie, because Kevin Feige said we'll get it within the coming months. So I knew off rip it wasn't gonna be like introduced in this. Plus I knew spoilers. But it's like a comic book, man. Like comic books don't line up all the time. And if they do, it's like super random. It's like one issue, it's like, oh, now it connects, Other than that, I don't see the problem with that. I've been seeing the backlash as well. Like people are really, but it's also, I made the analogy of when we were talking about like last week with like Israel Adesanya, the UFC middleweight champion. Like he's been the champion. He's defended his belt like 6 times, It's like now people are getting bored with his fights and like, oh, they're finding something to critique. When you're on top, they got to find something to critique to bring you down, especially when you're on top for that long. So I think with like Marvel, it's kind of that effect. Like they have had their run. They're still doing good. These movies are pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
when you go down the list of Phase 4, it's like all solid movies. Shang-Chi was good. Even Eternals are. I see people kind of rate Eternals a little higher now that it's been out, because at first people were kind of shit talking it, but yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange. Now, I think it's just Marvel set the expectation a little higher early on, and now people just want that every time, but just like it's not gonna happen every time. And I kind of personally like that they're not giving us they're just giving us storylines throughout, building more characters, building the character development instead of like, here's a villain and we got to get to that point.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I thought Thor was great. I don't think it needed it, right? I didn't think it needed that element. I just kept reading like people, saying that it sucked. Like the hate for it is growing because they're like, oh, it sucked. It wasn't this. And listen, it was a fun movie. It was fun. It was funny. It was funny as shit. I think this is the first MCU movie you see bare ass on the screen. Like,
yeah, probably so.
I mean, I watched it on IMAX screen, so the bare ass was like, the whole size of the damn screen. But yeah, man, it's like it I don't know, man. It to me, it was fun. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was crazy. It was zany. And I enjoyed, Gore the God Butcher. I enjoyed the whole thing. I thought it was good.
I thought it was good. I thought it was, honestly, I enjoyed the movie, like the experience, like watching it. I had a good time, but thinking about it and then like starting to see like other reviews and like really like thinking about just the movie itself, I'm like, oh, I can see why people are hating on it. There are things in it, like Gore the God Butcher, for example, should have been in the movie a lot more. I personally think. But and I hear that they had like a 3-hour and 30-minute version, almost 4 hours, and they cut it to 2. I think it was like 159 on the.
Oh, okay.
So it was like they cut out a lot of this movie, which I don't understand. That's one gripe I have with Marvel though. It's like, why do you do this? Like, and then you release it on Disney Plus, in its entirety. And it's like, bro, just give us. We're gonna complain about certain things. Why not? You guys been doing this long enough. Why not just give it to us off the rip? But I think it was Big Homie. He made a point that, this movie was kind of, just the kid thing. That they're trying to hit the kid market, and I think this movie kind of was like that. Like this movie could have been a lot darker.
Of course,
with the subject matter, like it could have been way darker, and I think it would have been a little bit more interesting if it got darker. But what we got, I enjoyed.
Well, listen, we got some chatter. We got some chatter here, and we got some. I think your friend Bruce is on here. Let's see. But let's start here. So, would you put this over Ragnarok regarding the Thor movies? That's tough. That's tough because I thought Ragnarok was a pretty complete movie.
Yeah, I think Ragnarok's better.
Yeah. I think I agree because Ragnarok was a surprise, but it had the Hulk, it had the spectacle, it had everything, and it had a very good cohesive story. I enjoyed Ragnarok a lot. So yeah, I think Ragnarok is better, but you get something new here. You get something new. Bruce, do you guys ever talk in non-comic book movies? Why don't you watch independent cinema at all? No, so Bruce, we talk all kinds of movies. I mean, Thor is just the big movie this weekend, and so most people want to talk about it. But Bruce, if there's any movies that you want us to comment on or you have, want to discuss, we're more than happy to. So
he also has a whole YouTube channel where he breaks down a bunch of different independent movies. So
Bruce does?
No, you.
yeah. I'm like, you're advertising for Bruce? What the hell is this?
But I'm just saying, like, he has a whole channel. If you want to hear him talk about movies, there's hundreds of videos out.
Yeah, no. So Bruce, I do movie reviews. I do the watch-alongs. But yeah, during the Sunday shows, it's whatever the chat comes up with, and usually we have a topic or two that's topical for people that want to, some of the mainstream stuff. But yeah, man, we'll talk about anything. So hit us up. Let us know what you want to talk about. We have John Elite 45. Says, didn't Hulk show some ass in Ragnarok as well? You know, I don't know. I think it was like insinuated that he did, but I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember Hulk ass, dude.
No, I don't remember Hulk ass. So we got Thor ass for sure. And so, ladies, if you're into Thor ass, you'll get to see some of that.
I mean, dudes, if you're into Thor ass,
dudes,
too,
I mean,
nothing wrong with
that. John Gillen has said, "Yo, what's up, man? Hashtag road to 5,000." Thank you, John. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Every day we get some more.
Yes, sir.
Big homie. The whole channel is dedicated to movies. Point blank. What movies do you suggest? Okay, so he's talking to Bruce there. Says, Bruce, you guys only ever talk about comic book and superhero movies. Cinema is a lot broader than that, bro. No, I mean, listen, we again, I understand what you're saying, Bruce, and let us know what you want to talk about, man. Zelenia concurs.
She concurs
with what? Hulk ass or Thor ass? Let's see. Bruce, big homie, maybe some independent foreign cinema, expand beyond comic book bullshit. Okay. Zelenia concurs about Ragnarok. She feels Ragnarok is
a better
more.
Movie.
Okay.
Did you like Love and Thunder, Zelenia?
Oh yeah,
you flick too hard, damn it.
Yeah, that's the line right there for sure. Let's see. Chat Mom says, if anyone wants to see some double cheeked up heroes.
Oh man, that guy was ripped though. He did extra push-ups right before that shot.
You know what I'm excited about is that I think he's playing Hulk Hogan in a biopic movie. That's why he's like in that shape and he's ripped. So I'm excited for that one too. So although I saw pictures and stills of him as Hulk Hogan, he looks pretty damn good. But I don't think Hulk Hogan ever looked that good. That's the problem.
Yeah, Hulk was on some coke and some beer.
You know what's funny? Yeah, no, he did that all throughout the 80s. Zelenia says she enjoyed Love and Thunder.
Hey,
you know what's funny? And I listen, I know I am not anywhere close to what Hulk Hogan looked like at all. But I remember him saying, you know, his sayings, right? The prayers, the training, the vitamins, the 24-inch pythons. Well, I measured one day and I was like at 22, and I'm like, what? I don't have Hogan arms, you know, like I was like, shit, I'm close. No.
He measured his biceps.
I did, man.
Oh,
I'm like, take measure.
22s.
22-inch.
You ever watch Robin Big?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
They measured him and he was like 22, son, or 24, some shit like that.
That show was pretty good. Let's see. Zelenia says she enjoyed Love and Thunder. But I did feel like there were certain parts of the movie that shouldn't have been kind of rushed through. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that goes to what I was saying, though. They seem to cut a lot out of this movie. So I feel there was like things that we should have saw that probably were there and they just didn't. They cut it out. Like, I think gore, like there was not that. I mean, if we're going to should we get into spoilers now or just?
Yeah, I mean, guys, spoiler discussion, spoiler talk. I think it's in the title. So if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, but honestly, it's not like you're going to spoil. It's not a lot to spoil, at least in my opinion. But
you spoil the whole movie. You know, people don't like that.
Right. So
out of anybody,
spoiler talk.
Every week he used to get mad. People spoil Loki for him.
I still have beef with people spoiling because here's the thing, right? Like, I wasn't expecting a whole lot of like surprise stuff in Thor, but YouTube, there's people whose channels they put snippets of, oh, here's this scene, here's that scene, here's like, why would you do that? And so like I don't report those channels, man, but I tell them don't recommend them anymore. I'm not subscribed to them, so
tell them don't recommend them.
I don't recommend them.
But let's get into it. Johnny Light over here made a good point. There should have been more butchering. Gore the God Butcherer should have been butchering more gods. They insinuated that he killed you. They show you one kill And it was a beautiful way to start the movie because it really made you feel for Gore. Like it really showed you why. It gave you his it's kind of like the Thanos thing. It's like I see why he's doing what he's doing. But it really made you feel for him. But yeah, you get the one scene where he kills the initial god, and then after that, you just get implied killings of gods. And I was like, damn. He said, "Thanks for the I'm out though." Oh, Jimmy. Hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah. So I was excited to see like Christian Bale's performance because I heard a lot of good things, and let me say he delivered. He delivered straight up. Like the way he made Gore, he was creepy as hell. Almost, I mean, I don't want to make the comparison, but almost Joker-esque and like his mannerisms and like how he like was like toying, especially like the scene with the kids. Like he was really creepy in that scene. I was like, dang, we needed more of those scenes too. Because that was the only scene where he was acting really like that. And I bet you there was more moments where you could see the Necrosword really playing its hand in him, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Christian Bale's a phenomenal actor. I think everything he does is top notch. But yeah, there were moments that you could have elevated his character more, and the creepiness of that, where he comes and he tears the head off and he's taunting the kids. Yeah. That was like dark and creepy and insane. We
should have got. I think that tone we should have got a lot more of. Honestly, like I don't know, just how like his mannerism. I was like, man, if they would have, because when you really think about it, he was a little bit majestic, right? Yeah. Like he was majestic. He was like evil, but majestic in how he was. But that scene was like a switch where it's like, oh, this guy's crazy. He's not as put together as he's been in the past couple scenes.
Right. But and the sword making that, taking over his, and corrupting him. So
what do you think about the sword? And like, because if you guys don't know, the Necrosword is for Null, which is like the OG symbiote. So it's part of like Venom's lineage. And they kind of did away with that with this. There was like, instead of having symbiote monsters, there were shadow monsters. And basically the sword kind of just took like, it was like taking, I think it just like took, it was like a parasite. Like it was a symbiote-esque thing. It's just they didn't mention it at all. Yeah. And I was kind of disappointed with at the end what happened to it. Because then I'm like, oh, they don't care about that storyline. Because you got to know using that what it is.
And you could have tied in like the symbiotes, and you could have made this huge connection, which would have made this movie way up there in terms of the connecting the threads, right, between the different universes and stuff. All right, we're getting some rumble in the chat. I'm liking this. Yeah, let's see. All right, they're talking to Bruce here. He asked if I seen Nightmare Alley. He thought Nightmare Alley was good. I see it's a Guillermo del Toro movie. I am not a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro's stuff. He's a good, director, and he's got like a unique vision. But I don't find his
Pinocchio.
Yeah. I don't find his style to be something that I like. I wouldn't say that he's had bad movies. I just don't. But I didn't see Nightmare Alley. It's on Hulu right now. But I can check it out and let you know my thoughts on that. But like, I have not seen that one.
I haven't heard of it, to be honest.
Yeah. Let's see. There's plenty of mainstream indie movies, but Llama watches a lot of diverse stuff. So give the guy a title, my guy. Yeah, we got some people just kind of going back and forth. And listen, man, I welcome it, man. I welcome the interaction. Bruce, listen, man, you're challenging the chat, and let's just keep it respectful. That's all I ask. Let's keep it respectful. Let's see. Jay Birdie's talking about what we've talked about: Rambo, Back to the Future, Monty Python, Godfather. We talk about and the cinema masterpiece Speed 2. Yeah,
Llama's favorite movie for sure.
Yeah, this is not the highbrow inside the actor studio show. We talk movies, we have fun with it, man. But this isn't like a character study and shit.
Yeah.
This is funny. Bubba the Runner. I joined and immediately heard Llama screaming about bare ass on IMAX. So I'm sold.
He's here. Let's go.
Bubba, thank you so much, buddy, for joining us, man. We enjoyed rating your your stream the other night, and we're keeping an eye on you,
Yo,
man. So
chat, go
thank you,
follow
man.
this man if you haven't. This guy's
Yeah,
a
for
sweat.
sure.
He's a sweat. He takes
for
people's
sure.
lives and gets wins all the time.
Let's see. Bruce is challenging. Here's this Jay Birdie, Back to the Future and Godfather, the only good movies in that list of yours. Okay. Oh. Again, let's keep it respectful. Jay Birdie says Monty Python movies are comedic gold unless the jokes go over your head, which I would understand if that was the case.
I mean, if they go over your head, they go over your head. There's really nothing you can do about it.
Big Homie says we're here talking original movies, dude. Bring up and the dude brings up a remake. Okay, you didn't see Nightmare Alley because it doesn't have a bunch of superheroes in it.
That's exactly why I didn't watch it.
Del Toro is a great director. Listen, again, Del Toro has a style. Del Toro has a style. It's creepy. It's a niche looking thing. Nobody wants to see fucking monsters with eyes in their hands all the time. So please, Del Toro is good, yes, but I don't like his stuff. So too bad.
What it is.
And it's streaming on Hulu. It doesn't interest me unless it's something good. And if it goes straight to Hulu,
I'm trying to go to a theater and have an experience.
Well, again, Bruce, I'm trying not to get personal with you, man. But listen, man, Del Toro, he's got a style. I don't like it.
Bro,
that's
but
fine.
Bruce thinks Del Toro is one of the greatest directors of the modern era.
That's right. And that's okay. That's okay, man. I think, Scorsese, Spielberg, I like the pops guy. I like the popular guys. Michael Mann, you got different guys, man. So trust me. Let's see. Jane says Dead Man's Shoes, Dogtooth. What are we talking? And Jay, some Monty Python is funny, but the movies aren't well made. They are amateur hour filmmaking. Well, honestly, it's groundbreaking because it was they self-financed, they put out their own material, and yeah, at the time it was, again, comparing it to what, like it's a comedy, it's supposed to be ridiculous, and the more absurd the sketch, the more absurd the scenario, the funnier it is, and so they went with that. So
and it's got a cult following, huge cult following.
It does,
which we learned.
I mean, for sure, man. That's 18,000 views. That's going on there. Let's see. They're not amateur. Let's see. Big Homie says Llama Rant.
Gas in the fire.
That's the style. Let's see. It didn't go straight to Hulu. It was in cinemas, and I watched the movie Innocent. Okay. I missed the boat. And listen, that's okay. That's okay. He's not a guy I see his name and I go, I want to go see that movie. But maybe it's okay. And listen, I'll check it out, Bruce. Don't worry, man. Sometimes I have time for that. Jay Birdie, hey Llama, did you like the movie Casino? You might not though, since there are no superpowers.
There's no superpowers in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Top Gun Maverick had a superhero. Maverick,
Maverick, and the guy from Mission Impossible. They're both the same guy.
Same guy.
No, man, listen, I like all kinds of movies. I do like. I watched. I watched the was it Freakin' did the shit. Now you're trying to make me think of all the movies I've seen, but guys, I've watched a bunch. I've watched a bunch of movies, and for the channel, I try my best to watch things that I've never seen before. Let's see, Jay Birdie, why spend the money on Del Toro if you can go watch one asking for a friend? Oh my God, amen, Jay Birdie. Guys, listen, man, different strokes for different folks. Some people like these indie movies, some people like the superhero stuff. I like entertaining movies. I like a good, indie movie, and I like a good superhero movie. I enjoy it all. The whole thing is I break it down and I talk about it from a average film goer's perspective. I'm passionate about watching movies, but I'm not a pro. I'm not a critic in any way. So my opinion.
And our show started on Marvel and comic book movies. I mean, that's just what this show was based on. So, I mean, we're on brand for what we do. Like I said, Llama has plethora of movies you can go check his opinions on. Not Del Toro though. There's no Del Toro. So if you're looking for that, he doesn't have that.
No. Maybe I'll do one Del Toro. Independence Day would have been better with Superman in it. I'm just saying.
He wasn't in it, dude.
In Independence
Wasn't Will
Day?
Smith? Wasn't Will Smith Superman? Llama's like Independence Day. What? Llama's confused and stuff. He doesn't sarcasm doesn't hit him well.
No, I'm like, what? I'm having a stroke over here. You got me in between a rant and we're talking Thor and Bruce hit us up. Let's see. Okay, what about Hellboy and Pacific Peak superhero films? Too. Okay, so I've seen Hellboy, and again, I think that's Guillermo del Toro. So, guys, it's okay. Let's see. Who is your all-time favorite wrestler, and why is?
I don't get that, but I know you tried.
No, you don't get this reference, but
No.
but that's pretty bad. Oh God. Oh, that's bad. That is bad. Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's get back. We're
Thor.
off track. Yeah, we're off track. Let's go from the beginning though. So what was his main motivation? Like, if you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, listen. What I like about Gore is that you have a sympathetic character. He's not just a brainwashed bad guy who, he's just a killer, right? He wants to kill. There's a specific reason, and I don't know. Maybe Taika Waititi wanted to do a social commentary on believing in God and questioning faith, but damn, this guy was a disciple, a follower of this particular God, and he put all his faith into this character or to this God, and only to be let down in the final realization of you're doing this for his amusement. And I felt like that was pretty strong. I thought that was it, but it humanized Gore, and it makes it so that you understand why he's doing what he's doing, right? Because that to me was important. He was just a god killer for no reason. Then like that's it's just here's another bad guy, right? So
I mean, in the comic books, he was that complex as well. I think it was the same right out the comics, like same story. But I think like the way they depicted it, the way that like the scene that we see where his daughter is dying of hunger. And even like there was that like they flashed to him like where he looked like scrawny and stuff. I was like, oh shit, like this is this guy doing that. I forgot what the mechanic or something. What movie was it that he got like super skinny?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, did he do this again for this film? That's kind of nuts if he did, because I'm pretty sure that's pretty bad for his body. But yeah, just the way it was like, damn, like you said, sympathetic. You feel for him, and then. I think it's a combination of the Necrosword wanting the gods dead as well, because that's one of the only weapons that can kill the gods. And you can tell like throughout the movie, like when we see Zeus and like other characters, it's like, oh, they're aware of this weapon and they're aware of what it can do, especially like when Gore's going through the freaking universes and just the galaxy and just slaying gods. And people are like, yo, what's going on with all these, ancient gods and stuff just dying off. So I thought they set him up really well. Again, my critique would be I wish there was a little bit more. I wish there was some more stuff. But
yeah. I mean, they like you said, if they left it on the cutting room floor, there was just a lot of darker elements that could have been introduced.
Yep.
And so, but it's a tone thing too. Like you have to be careful how you do it, because Tiger was putting a lot of comedy into it, and there's a lot of fun, lighthearted moments with a lot of depth and a lot of levity. But yeah, it's dark. Like his origin is dark, and that moment in the beginning was dark. It was kind of jarring. You're like, oh shit, like
even like the gods like response to him, like, dude, we don't. He's like, he's like, there's gonna be more followers. Like, basically, he didn't care about the civilization that worshipped him. He's like, whatever, like, so it gave him motivation. Obviously the god was going to kill Gore, and then the sword called out to him, and he was lucky the sword was literally right there, plot armor. Literally like feet away, and then just like the scene where you see the sword go into his hand is like that scene. And I thought that I mean the setup was dope, but I did enjoy the introduction of Thor with the Guardians. Like I really I thought this movie was going to be like not a whole movie with them, but I thought they were going to be in it a little bit longer than they were. But that scene was crazy. That battle was super dope, and I'm glad we got that off the rip because it kind of set the tone of like the movie.
Yeah, no, and I like the fact that I was disappointed they weren't in there longer. Right, it was a good sequence, but it kind of made sense. It kind of made sense to just say, look, here's your fan service, and let's just move on because they're not integral to the plot. Like, there's no reason. And what was funny is it's almost, and someone I heard someone say it, which was they were almost making fun of themselves, like a parody of Marvel movies in general, but really it's like, sticking to the story. It's not, they weren't like a full-on parody. It was just something that looked like a parody, looked like they were just making fun of that shit, and it kind of did make fun of it a little bit, and then they came back to the story, and then and then you had to level out the story, but there was just funny moments all throughout it. So
the movie looked good. Yeah, I was gonna say
the movie looked great.
The movie looked, I mean, again, Taika is a talented director in his own right. Like, he really makes you feel the fun of it. He makes you feel the moments where you need to, like, this movie was kind of like heartfelt. There was parts where I was like, damn, like, really hit those violin strings, So I was like, yo, Taika, he's gaining my respect a lot in these past couple movies that I've seen him in. Even the Jojo Rabbit, like, I seen that, and like that movie looks great, and he's acting in that as well. Like, man, dude's super talented. But with the I think that's more stuff that got cut too, though. I think with the Guardians, like, I think there was probably like a little bit more with the Guardians that we could have seen. You know what I mean? Like, that was like probably like the literal buildup of what we see of the Guardians. And since they cut out all that stuff, they cut out probably like a good portion of their adventures. Because I heard there was going to be like an adventure with the Guardians, and I think it kind of took a turn to like the gore and love story aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, but you also had that issue with James Gunn, who got fired and now rehired. So I think his movie was delayed. It would have been perfect to have a Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy type movie, for them to go on an adventure and then bring it back here. I think that would have been the easiest way to sort of bring it to this movie. So I think that might have been something too as well. We've got some rumbling on the chat. I want to acknowledge a couple things. So, first of all, Jane, I'm just putting up some of the stuff that you guys are talking about as we're talking. But Jay Birdie hit us up with a super chat, a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. He said, "Just cause he wants to
just throw some money at us, like
throw some money at us." Yeah, big homie with the $5 super chat. And with the GGs. We're just get through some of these chats and then we're gonna get right back to it. Bruce said, did you ever see Beetlejuice? Great movie. They're working on Beetlejuice 2 now, apparently. Yes. I enjoyed that one. That one's a Tim Burton. So Tim Burton has his style, and I enjoy Tim Burton stuff. It's weird, but yeah, I don't know if that's sarcasm or if I like. Is he saying we should watch that movie? I've seen that movie a million times. Have you seen Beetlejuice?
Yeah, when I was younger.
Okay. When I ask you that question, that's always a toss-up because
it's older than me. You know how I feel about those.
Let's see. Did they steal a penny, or you just felt the need to 99-cent that?
Yo, that's a great question.
That is a great question. Let's see. Chat Mom says Beetlejuice is lit. Big homie is laughing at, I'm sure, that penny, the 99-cent one. Jay Brady says, yeah, I'm super excited for the sequel. I'm interested on where they bring you the story. Yeah, people like Beetlejuice. Yeah, Beetlejuice was fun.
The smiley face at the end. I love it.
Exactly. Jason, I used it. I just used the slider. Okay.
Okay.
Zelenia says Beetlejuice is a classic.
Shout out Zelly. She likes Beetlejuice. Classic film.
It is good. Although there's no Beetlejuice I think he's in the movie a whole 14 minutes.
For real?
Something
I don't
like
remember it that much.
Yeah, no, that's it's weird that he has the minimal screen time. He's the title character, and the rest, is history.
Yeah, but his scenes are impactful. Like, nobody remembers the other scenes. They remember the ones with him.
Exactly.
All 14 minutes of it.
Yeah, when I read it, I go, "There's no way." And then I watched it. I watched it some time ago, and I got the HD Blu-ray, and I was like, "Let me check it out." And yeah, he's not in it a lot. So Jay Birdie says, "Okay, now I'm done." Bruce, how do you feel about Fast and? Oh, okay, that's a good one. Fast and Furious series for sure.
Classic.
What is this? We got birds,
Birdies.
peacocks,
Bird,
birdies?
peacocks, and trees. A cow.
Let's see. Who cares if it's an old movie, bro? Some of the best movies are old movies.
Dum
Dum
dum.
Dum. Oh.
Bruce, I don't know if you've noticed this, buddy. I don't care what you're saying, bro. I don't watch older movies because I don't care about watching older movies. It's my personal opinion. You have your own, and that's cool. You can watch all the old fucking movies you want. I don't really care to watch them.
Yeah, AD's got a particular style, Bruce, and it's he has a method, a law, a life that he lives, and he does not see things older than he is.
Yeah.
So
I don't also follow the waves just because people are like, oh, that's an old movie, it's so good. I don't care. I create my own opinions, bud.
There you go. Let's see. Johnny Leet, he says here, I love the Guns N' Roses music in Love and Thunder. Yep. Effective use of all kinds of music, and they did use 2 Guns N' Roses songs in there. And yeah, November Rain was so impactful at the end there. Oh man, it made the whole movie for sure. The co-host hasn't really seen older movies due to religious conflict.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, I gotta use that. I was
that's right. You
growing up.
Well,
Jehovah didn't want me to watch those.
You can't help the circumstances growing up. Like sometimes that's the key, right? So I tell people all the time, my parents, love my parents, but they were terrible parents because I watched
film. Oh, they let you watch anything?
They let me watch anything. Like I was watching Skinamax, I was watching, all this stuff, and I shouldn't have been watching at at a very young age. Like I watched, was it Dawn of the Dead, the one where they're in the mall and they're zombies and whatnot? It's pretty graphic, it's gory. I think I was like 8 years old, and I'm terrified now of there's like a noise it makes when it shuts down the mall. But yeah, I watched Jaws when I was like 6.
Yeah.
With no context. And that's the other thing. Like it'd be one thing if my folks were with me and I can ask questions or I can cry on their shoulder. I just sat there watching the movie like
by yourself.
Yeah, by myself. I mean, it got so bad. Like I think that there were sharks in freaking pools. That's how scared I am in a stupid movie. I watched the Nightmare on Elm Street. I watched the Jason movies. I'm an idiot.
So like my parents, so it was like a combination of the whole Jehovah thing and then talking about spirits and like, oh, you watched that, you're inviting spirits. It was all that. And then they tortured like us in a weird, like it was weird. Like my mom's a Jehovah's Witness, but like my dad is like, let's let them watch Scream. And I'm like, however old I am. And they have all the lights off, and then they go and get the mask and then scare me with it. And it's like, bro, you're petrifying me. And then like it's like weird moments like that throughout our life. Like we're in Old Town, and the haunted house in Old Town.
Oh yeah,
They had set up my sister to get scared by one of the guys. Like they told her like, oh, go walk. And I'm like, you guys are sick individuals. And like for the longest time, I was scared of like even watching commercials of movies. I was like, yeah, I don't need these spirits to come get me. Like I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like we're good, bro. You do you, I do me.
I would run in my room, and because I thought someone would grab my feet, so I would run and jump. Like I'd do like a 10-foot jump from like the carpet onto the bed because I wanted them touching my feet.
I would have to turn on the lights and then turn them off real quick. Running. So all we're getting out of this conversation is we're two bitches.
we are two bitches.
Don't pull up on us in the dark alley because we will run.
Oh, I gotta tell you, I was in the oh my god, I was in the bathroom getting dressed, and mind you, again, at this moment I was shirtless, and my wife walks up this way towards me, but there's like a hallway. I can't see her. I see the silhouette of the dog go by me. My dog had just run right by me. I thought it was her. Then she put her hand down and grabbed my nipple. I about slapped her hand. I almost chopped it off. I was like, bah! And she's like, what the hell? I said, you scared the shit out of me. I thought you were a rat. Why would a rat be grabbing my nipple? Right? Like that's
right.
But I almost broke her wrist. I hit her that hard. I was like, damn. I felt bad.
But also back up.
He's up here, you know.
Yeah, just
I'm not a piece of meat. I'm not a piece of meat. I need to be wined and dined. All right, this one's for you if you want to read it.
Yeah. Okay, you don't care to watch movies from before like 2015, which means you're ruling out so many eras of cinema and film history over the years, bro. Shame. Again, Bruce. Nobody gives a fuck, bro. Like, and one, I was born in 93, so I don't watch fucking movies from the 80s, my guy. In 2015, that's thriving theater era, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. This guy's, nobody cares, Bruce. Like, you just want to pick a fight with us, and none of us care. You can enjoy the chat and just have conversation with us, but nobody cares about your opinions and the dumb and the shame. Like, you're not making me feel any type of way. Like, you're not gonna sway my opinion. You know, you might be weak-minded, but I'm not, buddy. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Jeez.
We enjoy movies, man. And Bruce, man, listen.
If we want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. If you want to talk about it, have your own show Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll see whose chat's better. Come on, bud.
Listen, man, this is funny. This is funny because, you know, we this is the one thing. This is a new thing. We've not had, you know, a hater or someone who doesn't really, you know. Again, we like differing opinions and we like people to challenge us. That's no problem. But we're having a bit of a thing here. I like
how the chat's like, yo, come on, dude, you're interrupting our time.
Exactly. And Jay Birdie's hitting them up with some good one-liners there. So, let's see, big homie. Sorry, none of us care about the Sunset Film Festival.
Bruce is a yearly guy. Bruce still watches adult films on VHS because they're classics, brother.
Oh, let's see. I'm glazing over a couple of them. I don't want to, you know. You guys seem to be having some struggle there. John says that they also use "Welcome to the Jungle," "Sweet Child of Mine," "Love and Thunder." Yes, they did.
I thought the music for the everything about the movie was good. Like, I was saying I'd rate it like 7.5 out of 10. You know, but like objectively, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it was great. I think the use of music, the humor was good. You know what I mean? The use of humor, like the freaking goats. Like,
oh my god,
when they crashed into the planet. And he's yo, I was dying, bro. I was like, yo, that's perfect timing.
But and what's funny too is like the perspective of the planet, right? Like you see them flying into the planet, you go, okay, they're gonna disappear into the planet, and then they're just like they smack the planet and they're like standing on top of the planet, like it's not that big. So I thought that was great. That was like subverting your expectations. You're like watching, you're like, all right, they're about to go in. They're gonna land. They just fucking hit this. They just smack the side of the planet. You're like, what?
And I got to pop out the theater. They were like,
oh,
yeah,
it did. Oh, yeah. I'm sure. I mean, it was, and then the goats were the running joke everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was
it was the goats and the hammers, like how they made.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Mjolnir and Stormbreaker feel like one is his ex and he was dating one now, and it was like, yo, that was hilarious. I was like, yo, that's so smart. And it was like the way they did it, like, obviously Stormbreaker doesn't have a face, but you can feel that Stormbreaker's just disappointed. Like, are you serious?
I love there was that one scene where Stormbreaker, he's like, yeah, this is amazing. She's amazing. And Stormbreaker just comes in the fold like this little water bottle. Like, it just comes right in. And it's like looking at him like, bro.
Or when he was like trying to call Mjolnir when he first saw it the first time, he was like, come here. And then Stormbreaker pulls up and he was like, oh, I was just calling you.
It was great, man. It was great.
Good scenes.
Oh, it was a bunch of good scenes. Let's see. This is stimulating conversation. I like it. So the chat is having a hell of a time tonight. This is great.
Going crazy.
Let's see. It's a Herc is so light on his feet, he scares the hell out of me all the time just living in the house.
Just sneaks up on her like, what how'd you get there?
Oh my god. Listen, I'm trying to just get through this chat so that we don't let's see. Stormbreaker getting jealous. Yep, for sure.
Hilarious.
Selenia says I agree. 7, maybe a 7.5. Yeah.
I think objectively it's a 7. Like when you like it's an above average film. It's pretty good. There's some some things that I would to get it to a 10. I would need, you know what I mean? Like I need more God butchering. I needed more Christian Bale in the movie. I think it's kind of criminal that he was only in there. He was probably only in there for like 14 minutes. Like, but his scenes again were impactful. I needed more of that. There was something else I didn't really care about. I'll get to it, but
well, there was a cool the moment when you meet Zeus and you meet the other gods. That was an interesting scene. It was a beautiful scene.
That's actually one of those things I was like, well, they're gods, so like when the fight breaks out, it's like, like, are they really getting out of there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But before we get to that God part, because I want to talk about that scene because I enjoyed Russell Crowe's performance as Zeus. Like he was hilarious. But let's just go through the Jane Foster stuff. How'd you feel about that?
That was pretty well played. And the only thing I think I wanted is to understand the transformation. Like that they rushed through because she was sick. I would have liked to have her to research a little bit more to understand, like, if you notice it, like she is going through the cancer treatments and she's doing the thing. All of a sudden she picks up an Asgard mythology book, reads, Mjolnir, good health, and then goes to Mjolnir. And it's like, you kind of rush that. Like, let her understand what it means and let her read through it, and that she makes a conscious decision to try to stay healthy, right?
But I took it as like, that's her last hope, whether it was good or bad. That was her last. Again, she has cancer, and this is something that's in the comics, and it's straight out the comics. But it is very triggering for like it was like those scenes where like she's just trying to like test it out, figure she's just sleeping at the lab, like because again she's a scientist who is like trying to find a cure for her. She has stage 4, by the way, so obviously she has very limited time. And don't fish are friends, not food. Classic. But with the book though, it called out to her, and like it just brought it, like like it's got some mythology in there, so it's like it called out to her. There's a little magic involved, and I could see why. Yeah, I would like a longer scene, but I think we kind of got the point about like the cancer part. You know what I mean? I think again, we gotta go in the context of like they probably cut that what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. So I think we would have gotten it, but I thought it was rushed, like how she got the freaking hammer though, and how it just like magically got put together.
That's what I'm saying. Like that would have been cool to just understand like why Thor couldn't have done that. Like the hammer was gone and they had the pieces. Like Thor couldn't have done that himself. But I guess we would be. I think we're nitpicking. I would say I'm nitpicking a little bit on that, but. I just needed a little bit more to like it was so quick. She was in the lab, she was struggling, she goes to Mjolnir, it like fizzles together, and then the next scene she's kicking ass and she knows what to do with everything. Well, I mean, they kind of gave us that thing where it's like the hammer just it taught her. It gave her everything she needed. She is now a Thor. So like she has the power, she has the fighting ability. You know what I mean? Like again, it would have been dope, maybe like the continuation of the thing, but like a little training montage between her and Valkyrie, which at the end, when you think about it, again, we don't know if they cut it. And I keep saying again, but at the end, she's training the kids, you know what I mean? Like teaching them how to fight. So it's like, that could have tied into like her, like kind of like showing her a little bit more, or like you just see Jane get used to it, because you're right. When Jane and Thor meet, that's the first time we see Jane as Mighty Thor, and she's kicking ass immediately and like flying around the planet. She's like, I flew around the planet 3 times. It's like, where'd you learn that?
Do that? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure again Thor like probably told her. You know what I mean? Like, I did enjoy though that they gave us the montage of their like relationship, because we didn't really see that the inner workings of the relationship. And honestly, I think we're looking at this wrong. If we look at this like a romantic comedy and not a action superhero movie, then I think it works on all cylinders. You know what I mean? It makes sense why there's not that much gore You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like it's part of the story, but it's not the main part of the story. Because if it was just a gore story, and we're going through the butchering and all that, we're losing a lot of the love thing. And I think that, I mean, Love and Thunder, but I think that's why it works. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if maybe we have to change our perspective on what this movie is.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that because it gave, and it was funny, and it was heartwarming, and it gave you the real understanding of both of them being in a relationship, and they both went kind of south. Like it's not the comic book fairy tale. Then they lived happily ever after. It was, he's still Thor and he's still got things to do. She's trying to progress her career, and they went completely different. But yeah, it was great. It was great that they put that piece in there, because then it brings it back down a couple of levels, right, to humanity, to fun, to romantic elements. John Elite here says, did they even explain how she became worthy of Mjolnir, or how she even got the cancer? Right.
So
yeah, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they did explain the Mjolnir.
Yeah.
They in that montage of like them dating and stuff. Thor was lit. He was lit off the hen dog. You know what I mean? After a Christmas Halloween party, I believe, and he was just like talking to the hammer, like, you know, if she needs your help, protect her and stuff. And then you can see the spell. There was like a spell that happened, and I think that's, you know, that's probably what the plot armor that helps the thing come together, because it was magically, it was a spell that the hammer had. So once she needed the help, that's why I called out to her. That's why it came back together. It was fulfilling the spell, you know? So they explained that. The cancer thing, they didn't really go into, like, they didn't even say what, like, cancer of what. They just said it was stage 4 cancer, like, very vague.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't go into the cancer thing too much.
No, and again, it could have been more detailed, but I think it was just enough, because again, and you don't want it to make it uber sad, you know, movie and have her struggle for so long. It's a balance. It's a balance. So yeah, a 4-hour cut of the movie could probably have a little bit more detail.
Bro, if we had a 3-hour movie, we would get a lot of the stuff that we want. I mean, all the critiques are the same. It's like, it's not enough. You know, like everybody's like, yeah, it's a good movie, but there's things I wanted more out of. And it goes back to my point, like, why do they keep making this mistake? Or, you know, like, yeah, you give us content for later to watch when it's on Disney Plus, or like the features and extras. Just like that cheapens the movie a little bit. But yeah, I enjoyed their relationship though throughout the movie. I think that was a strong suit of the movie, was like their interactions with each other. We don't even see her meeting with Valkyrie. Yeah. I think, and like how close they were, because like they had their moments where it was like a buddy cop, like they're friends. You know what I mean? Like they're homies. Like when when we find out that the cancer's still killing her at a faster rate now because she's using the hammer. Clearly Valkyrie knows already that's going on, and like they have like a kinship. Even like the joke of like Valkyrie having the speaker, and like, they're about to go save the world, and she has a speaker playing like the Pussycat Dolls or some shit. And I think again, more stuff that probably got cut out, but it would have been dope to see. That's what I'm saying. Like a training montage with her and Valkyrie would show that, like them getting close, and how she got to use the power. Because it's not even like a time span of like how long realistically was it when he went to go save the New Asgard, when Gore was attacking New Asgard. So it's like, I don't know. That scene was super dope though. The New Asgard scene with Gore, and like you see Gore in action for the first time with his powers. I thought that was sick. Like I enjoyed the shadow monsters. People are like critiquing it because it's like, oh, it's just shadow. But I thought they were super dope, and they used it really well.
Yeah. But now leading up to, right after that, then you start to explore some of the characters, and again, the social commentary is always there. You got definitely Korg, who his species is, his species is gay. It's a gay species. Like it's two men will create another rock. You have Valkyrie, who has girlfriends, and so that was there, and I felt like it wasn't too on the nose. I think it was great for the story, and it was in passing, and I think it was already established for most. I think for Valkyrie, at least, we knew that for sure. For Korg, I think it was something different, but it was played for sort of comedy. But again, I think people are going, again, people find their reasons to hate things and to not like things, and so the movie tries to be as inclusive as they can, right, and have these different types of characters. But again, it happens. But I thought that was just something that was not that it wasn't necessary, but it just kind of was like there.
Yeah.
And so if somebody wants to harp on it, like that's, I think it'd be, you're just looking for something, because honestly, it wasn't like the whole theme of the movie or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of natural life. You're gonna have people that the Korg thing, which is it was played for laughs, definitely. But
Yeah.
it was just interesting that they even thought about like how it was. You know what I mean? And he's just like explaining it, like, because I think Korg was underutilized this movie as well. Like he wasn't. I mean, he had like his quippy jokes and stuff, and like he was there. But except for like when we get to the Zeus part, what happens with him there? That was like I was like, oh, that was like the first time I felt like, or actually second, because of obviously Gore's opening scene. But like that was the second time. It's like, oh, you're tugging at the heartstrings right now. Like, good on you.
I thought Korg was done. I was like, damn, it's one of my favorite characters. We got Derpy Gaming here, says he just got out of the theater for seeing the film.
Hey, how'd you like it?
Yeah, I mean, give us your rating. You're just coming out of the theater from it. We've been breaking it down, but we'd love to hear what you think about it for sure.
Sure.
It's a Johnson's here. I hope we get a deleted scene of practicing with Mjolnir. Okay, that would be good.
I agree.
Good.
I agree.
Bruce is back in the chat. He's asking us if we watch documentaries.
I mean, sometimes, bro.
Sometimes. Actually, documentaries are fascinating.
No, when you get the right documentary.
Oh my God. Yeah. Sure, I love watching that stuff. But I won't go to the theater to see a documentary. That's for sure. That's one thing I won't do.
There's not a subject or something you would want to see. Like, I mean, me personally, like I like sports documentaries. Some would say real life superheroes. Nah, but like the Jeter thing, like I feel like, or even The Last Dance, like if that was a film in a theater, I would have probably went and watched it. It was like super dope, like how they constructed it. I mean, obviously we know what happens, the storylines, but
yeah, no, I don't think there is one that. Well, I don't know. I won't say there isn't one, but I have not gone to a theater and said, "Here's a documentary, let me check it out." Unless it's something like that's a spectacle, like it's made for a theater experience, like something like that. But but you know what I think I did see? I think I saw the Kings of Comedy in the theater. I think I did go to the movies to see that one, and that was like a spectacle type thing where it had been playing, but I went to the theater to go actually see it. So
yeah, I would definitely watch like a stand-up, and like Andrew Schultz drops one in theaters, I'm watching for show. Yeah, and not even a question. You know what I mean?
Let's see. We've got Jay Birdie says he's a documentary junkie.
Yeah,
I know Jay Birdie is.
Yeah, Birdie puts me on to a lot of like, especially like mafia documentaries. I've watched a couple with him, even like just wrestling stuff too. Like Birdie's the guy to talk about some dang on documentaries. Jeter's doc is coming out end of the week. Oh, speaking of, I want to see that. I think that's gonna be a dope one.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. John says I legit thought Korg was dead after getting hit with the lightning bolt.
They made it seem like it, and like I love like Thor's reaction, because you could see again through time and whatever they became close. Like especially like the scenes with the Guardians of the Galaxy is like him and Korg were like the duo, and then they were just tagging along with the Guardians. And then when they kicked them out with the freaking ghost was hilarious. I enjoyed the scene where he's like, you got to look at your loved ones, and he's like.
Oh yeah, he's just like let's see. Derpy Gaming hit us back. He says it's again Derpy's comments here says it's an average film. It's very over the top, not as balanced as Ragnarok, but I thought it was fun. I was entertained. Bale's performance carries the film. Lots of cringe moments though. 7.5 out of 10. It was fun.
I'm a scaling genius. I don't know what to tell you.
Derpy,
I know the
right
people.
On the money.
I don't know I know people. Nah, I agree with Derpy though. Now, cringe moments, Derpy. What do you thinking of cringe moments? Because off the top, I do think they overutilize the goats a little bit. And I've seen people talk about that. It was like they kept like just screaming for no reason. I thought even though the planet thing was effective, I thought it would have been even more effective if they did it like when they first met the goats, and then like one other time throughout, like when they're like bringing them to the ship or whatever, tying them to the ship, and then they hit that. But it was like as soon as we see the goats, it's like for 10 minutes, it's like every you know what I mean? It's like they were using. It's like we get it. They're really loud and annoying. But that would be a cringe moment for me, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple of them like that. Big Homie says he loves mafia docs. Yeah, documentaries usually aren't shown in theaters anyway. Yeah, no, I mean that's true. That's true. Big Homie says, yeah, drop your likes, man, guys.
Yes,
we got about 15, 20 people coming in and out of the viewing. If you like this video, guys, like the video, like the live stream. It helps the channel. Make sure you subscribe to my channel or to AD and the Twitch stream if you're watching via Twitch. For sure. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just trying to. I'm weeding through some of the comments here. You got to watch Going Clear, interesting documentary about Scientology. Would appeal to you since you're a Jehovah's Witness, and there are a lot of parallels. I think that's appropriate. I think that's one of those where it's about getting out, right? And how the community, because I think I've seen bits and pieces of that one, and it's about how the community shuns you once you're trying to leave. And I don't know if that's the same for Jehovah's Witnesses.
100%. That's why I don't. I've always noticed that even young and people that I look up to, like now and like Charlemagne, he grew up a Jehovah's Witness, and like hearing him talk about it, he was like one of the first people I heard talk about it. I was like, oh wow. And then like even Donald Glover and Childish Gambino, he grew up a Jehovah's Witness as well. And like the same, like to me, it fascinates me, like the people that do quote unquote get out or move away from the thing is like they're so open minded because it's a cult, man. I don't want to talk about Jehovah's Witnesses again on here because they called me the next day.
Oh yeah,
no. They called me with no caller ID. I was like, what the hell? They're watching the Llama Show. They're tapped into the Llama Show. Nah, but with that, they definitely like they shun you. They shun you while you're still a part of it. If you do something they don't approve of, they will let you come to a meeting, but nobody's allowed to talk to you. They call it like discommunicate or whatever. And I think that's so wrong. It's like, bro, like if you want them to fix their behavior and stuff, don't push them away. Don't punish them because of it. But that's another story.
No, for sure. But again, that's a pretty good Going Clear.
I would like to learn about Scientology though.
Yeah, no, that I found it interesting. Just the snippets that I've watched, I was really interested. So Derpy Gaming says the jokes just didn't hit, and they were overused, which made it cringe. And I think that's what you were saying, is that they overused some of the funny moments too much, and then that makes it sort of like the goats were funny. The goats are funny, but yeah, goats every 5 minutes are not that funny. Let's see. Derpy says here, I was wrong though. I wanted to hate this film, and I'm probably the only one here who hated Ragnarok. This film was that on drugs times a million. So, but I like I said, I was wrong. It was fun.
That's dope that you actually acknowledge it. But that's honestly hot take from Derpy. Everybody loves like Ragnarok when you think about the Thor series. Did you enjoy the first two Thors? I'm kind of curious because that would make sense why it's just the tonal differences. I mean, personally, I think I see why people, because like in the comic books, Thor is not that. He's more majestic. You know what I mean? It's like a more majestic character. Still kind of like, naive and stuff, but not like this way. I think like what the direction they took it with, and like Chris Hemsworth has said, like he's having fun playing this version of Thor as opposed to like the more rigid. So it just makes for the better performance from him, I would like to see a more serious Thor, but like I said, we seen it and it didn't work as well as like Ragnarok and stuff. So it's dope that you actually have the difference of opinion of like you don't like it, but you enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, and listen, sometimes the hate that's online before the movie comes out will skew sometimes your vision of it. And I had to tell my kids that because they were like, I don't know if this is going to be good. I heard it was okay. I heard it was mid-level. I was like, listen, I said, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If someone says, hey, I've never seen a red car before, you see 30 red cars. I said, it's the same shit here. You hear, 10 reviewers say it was mid-level. It's not the same. You're going to go in there coming out with almost the same opinion. So you got to be careful with that shit but yeah, look, not Ragnarok wasn't for everybody in here. Chat Mom says to Derpy, I may actually see it now because you said that. I wasn't a huge fan of Ragnarok.
Yeah, but see, for Jane and Herc, and like to me, or not to me, but I just know them, and they like, especially Herc, like super into that Norse mythology and stuff. So like Ragnarok, it's kind of a different thing for them. Right. So I could see why, like maybe Jane, maybe I'm just putting words in your mouth, Jane, but I could see why maybe you didn't click with that movie. Yeah, no, for sure. Bruce just wanted to comment on what you were saying. So that, yeah, you met someone that whose parents totally disowned him because they left. Yeah. So again, yeah, yo, that happened. I'm telling you, that happens in the community all the time. Like, I said it last time we talked about this, but like my cousin, like growing up, we were super close. But I think, like, especially with what I'm doing now, like it's totally against, like my personality, like how I talk, like who I am. It's against what they believe, and I understand. Like, especially if I start going to I getting popping a little bit. People start knowing me for this. Sorry, my English is no good, but like, start knowing me for this. Like, they're never gonna really want to communicate with me just because of what I portray or whatnot. And I've thought about this since young. Like, even like baseball, like me chasing baseball was like a thing for them. Where it's like, and I mean, Halama learned a lot about me as a child, like how I was last night. But yeah, like with the baseball thing, I didn't care about people's different. Like, I have my track mind. I'm gonna stick to it. Like, if you don't agree with me, then I don't need you around. Like, it is what it is. So I understand it. It's a sad thing, but that's just how that religion is. It is what it is. For sure. Now, Derpy Gamey's back. He's answering your question. So he says, yes, I enjoyed the first film. And the second film was okay, but honestly, I would have preferred if Ragnarok had the tone of Dark World because it's a serious storyline in the mythology. In the comics, it's the apocalypse. Yep. So yeah. And see, and that was your theory, which is that the tone shift to Ragnarok, which was completely different, probably again helped it for some, and then others didn't like it so much. But it says Ragnarok, the film made it a whole joke, and that's why I hated it. Hey, no, that makes that makes sense for the Ragnarok part of it. But I think what it did do with the tonal shift, especially at that point, there wasn't that kind of, like, I think what Guardians was out, probably Guardians 1, maybe 2. So, I think they were both out. Yeah. So I think at that point that was like it was just different from every other Marvel movie. Like, it was like similar to Guardians in the vein of like the jokes and stuff, but for like the mainline characters that we got, Iron Man, Captain America, like that tone for those characters was way different. And I think that's why it worked, because it like threw people out. Oh, we can have fun with these characters. They don't have to be as rigid. But I agree for the Ragnarok part. Like, if it got even more serious than it did, it would have been a little bit, it would have been better. It's same thing with, this movie. Like, if it got darker than it was, for me, I'm giving it another 0.5, maybe another point. Yeah. Jane says she's chat mom's agreeing that could be why I never clicked with any of the Thors. So okay. Derpy says they used Surtur was used wrong. Okay. I think I agree. Was used wrong, and Planet Hulk was forced, so it didn't work for me. Yeah, I mean, Planet Hulk is its own story and everything else, and it was cool to see, right? But it was just not. Again, for some, and Derpy, I'm not sure if you follow the comics more and you're into the comics more, but from my perspective, it was fun, right? But I'm not into the lore and I'm not into the history of it, but that's okay. It's just I'm the common fan that likes these movies, but I'm not as huge in the comic book world. But I can respect that. Personally, I like the lore of things like that. Like even like in this movie, the gods temple and stuff, and like how you saw the different like gods floating around. It's like, oh, like they really like reached in their god bag and pulled as many gods, recognizable gods as they could. And I thought that was awesome. I was like, damn, if we would have got a little bit, not history or just a little bit, like that scene kind of felt, I feel like this review is like I'm picking at it more than I thought I would have. But
It's okay.
with that scene, I felt like we could have had more interactions with other gods other than Zeus. Like it was just like mainly like the Zeus conflict and then a fight, and then that's it. You know, like
Yeah.
it would have been a little bit more interesting if we got to talk to some of these guys and see what the masses thought about, you know, gore, because everybody's hearing about it. But also, you know, again, to the Russell Crowe part, amazing performance as Zeus. He was hilarious, and he kind of broke character and like gave you like the real like, yo, don't be saying it too loud because like I don't want these guys to worry. And like he's clearly going to kill a lot of gods. You know what I mean? So he's like. And he kept bringing up the orgy. He's like, "You're not invited to the orgy," which I thought was a hilarious line. You're not invited, bro. You're really killing the mojo right now. I was on real big orgy vibes.
Exactly. They're like, "You're not invited. That's it. You're not going. That's it. You're done." But to be honest, I wouldn't invite Chris Hemsworth to the. I would feel inadequate.
I would for Valkyrie and Jane.
Well, okay.
You know, if he comes, they come. You feel me? Korg would be there too. Like, what up, Korg? I'm not with that Korg, but you know what? Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, let's see. So there's some there's some discussion on whether people were being blocked by Bruce over here. I don't know. I can't
Bruce
see it.
Blocked them all, bro.
Oh, did he? Okay, so I can't see it from this angle, guys. So I'm just not putting up some stuff. It's okay. Like you guys are going back and forth. That's all right. All right. So then the big scene was the Gore versus Thor in that monochromatic that the color. I thought that was pretty effective.
Yeah,
I liked that scene, but it did make the colors pop the minute they were out of that scene, which was. I guess it's the intended result. Like you're in, and I didn't even realize it until they got out of the scene that like how much color like was really gone from
that movie vibrant as hell.
Yeah.
Like even like Thor's suit, how like shiny and like extravagant it looked. But I think like you said, it was like super effective. Even when like Valkyrie had the lightning in her hand, and like just the little subtle colors, or like there was like different parts where you would just see random colors throughout those scenes, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Like again, good. I think good choice of freaking like cinematography.
Yeah.
Bruce can't come to the blackout orgy.
We're top tier film critics out here.
Only for superhero movies though.
Right, exactly. So again, I so you go through the movie, then you got the Jane issue, right? Jane is continuously getting sick, so she can't really. So then it becomes like a Jane character like moment, like she has to make a decision. Should she continue to use it? Thor obviously doesn't want her to use it. He wants her to try to fight the and Jane feels like she just has to move on. I mean, it's stage 4 cancer, so. Which I thought was effective, and then
you gotta look at it from her perspective. She's dying when she doesn't have the hammer. She's dying with the hammer, obviously at a faster rate, but I bet you she's never felt more alive than when she has the hammer. It's got to feel like a drug or like the high that she has, especially how I'm sure. I mean, think about it, going through chemo and stuff, like her body's weak. So like for her to have the energy and stuff and knowing that she can actually help people, that's another thing. She's a scientist who tries to help people. So it's like, you can't turn that part of off either.
Let's see. Derby says here he's more of a DC fan, to be honest.
Okay.
He's watched videos over the years to to understand certain storylines, particularly Marvel. So if it's Thor, it should be adapted the way it's written. That's just me. And that's cool, man. That's cool. And I think Jane has a good question though. Which Batman's, do you like the best? It's a good DC fan question. Like, who's your favorite Batman for sure?
Who's your Batman, sir?
Me?
No. You like this guy likes George Clooney with the bat nipple suit, the nipples on the bat suit.
Listen, since you guys say I'm from 1965, I like the Adam West Batman. The campy.
Do you really actually like
Batman. I've watched that stupid first Batman movie, the first feature from the cartoon, from the TV show. I've watched that thing probably 10 to 15 times. I love that movie. It's ridiculous, and I can't get over how stupid the puns are.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it. If it's on, I watch it, and I watch it more than I care to admit, for sure. Let's see. Derpy says, I just summarized the storylines through videos. Comics Explain helped a lot for me.
Comic Book Explains a great channel. That's where I get a lot of my stuff too, like comic book knowledge. I watch their things.
Yeah, for sure. Derpy says, honestly, as the character Pattinson, but as the movie film Bale. Okay. So he likes Christian Bale's performance as Batman. I like Christian Bale as Batman.
Pattinson, I think he might be like the most like
accurate, right?
Man, yeah. I guess you can say. I guess you can say that. But like I think also the most nuanced, even though like Christian Bale's is also a nuanced Batman. Because like the other ones before were just basically Batman stories, you know what I mean? They weren't like breaking it. Like these movies that we're talking about kind of like break into like the psychology of Batman and like what he's going through in his head, and like even like the Joker, like Joker's challenging like his beliefs and like, you know, I mean, as Joker does in the comic books, which is why they're such like great rivals. Joker's always like trying to be like, we're not so different now, you know. But Pattinson, I think, did a wonderful job, and I want to see more of him, honestly.
Yeah, it's an interesting way that they could take the character and move him along, and they can get a little bit more into the detective pieces. I like those elements. That was the fun part of watching that movie. I really, like I had said when we talked about it, was like when I watched that film, I forget he's wearing the bat suit. Like I'm really into the crime elements and the clues and the story. So I enjoyed that. All right, so let's get right to the end of Thor, and we can just sort of wrap it up here. Not wrap it up, but like let's finish up our thoughts on Thor. So it ends in a pretty predictable way. Once Jane Foster comes back into the scene, and that she's made the ultimate sacrifice. For me, there was no other ending to that movie. Like there wasn't any other way. She had to give herself up at that point, and it's exactly what Thor had feared. So I thought that was a pretty bold move.
I like the use of like him telling her he loves her. Right before, and then like when she comes, he understands because he knows who she is at the core, so it's like, oh, like of course she's gonna come and help, like, and she came at the perfect time because he was about to get freaking stabbed with the necro sword. So obviously, out of nowhere, Mjolnir comes around. And if she didn't go, she found out. No, I think it was before actually. I was gonna say she found out what he needed, what Gore needed, which was Stormbreaker to open the portal. So
right.
Which was like a chess move on Gore's part, like luring, taking the kids and luring them out. Now, how'd you feel about the scene with the kids, the kid army? Thor basically gives them the power of Thor, and they're fighting Gore's shadow monsters.
I think it obviously played for more comedic, right? Because they did some funny shit. Those kids. I mean, the stuff that they were doing with
those. What had me dying was the freaking bunny rabbit shooting laser. I was like, "How's the bunny rabbit?"
She's just standing there, just shooting lasers out the eyes.
Yeah.
I thought it was genius, and I thought it was fun. It was. I would say that's one for me is a little bit a piece of lazy writing. I would say, because like, really, you can give the power to anybody.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that was the thing. Now again, if that's part of the comic book, history and lore, then that's fine. I just didn't know that, and I thought it was kind of lazy, but it was still fun. It was still fun to see the kids, get together and do all that fighting, and it was a good time. Like I said, at that point, I wasn't like. After I analyzed the movie as I was driving home, I was thinking about that. But while I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, this is badass! These kids are just about to wreck some shit right now." So, it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have some people here. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat here. Jane was talking about Batman. She says she really loves the Tim Burton ones. That's where her childhood was. But she hasn't seen the new one yet, so she's waiting for her to watch that one. Okay. John Elite says, if you had told me that Pattinson was going to be the Batman years ago, I would never believed you. Same here.
Yeah, same here.
When I'm watching Harry Potter and you tell me that Cedric Diggory is going to be Batman, I would not believe you. Let's see. Derpy said, honestly, I prefer Pattinson as the character on a film. People remember The Dark Knight is Ledger. Nothing else, in my opinion. Bale is just Bruce. He's not Batman. No detective work. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that was a lot of Batman things previous to or before Pattinson was missing the detective side of Batman, because that's a big part of Batman. You know what I mean? Like, that's who Batman is a detective at the end of the day. So it's like, yeah, and that even like the Pattinson stuff, like him and like Gordon's relationship was really that of two detectives really working together, to solve the crimes. So yeah, I agree though. I agree.
Yeah. So John Elite says, I love Thor's facial expression when she returned. Yeah, it was a genuine look, like, wow, like, and he knew what it meant. He knew what it meant. Derby says Pattinson needs work as Bruce, but his character, love him as Batman.
I think that was just a choice. Like he made him really like reclusive. And I think, like now that he understands he can be in the light and he's more in the light, we'll see. Because when you think about Pattinson, he played, I mean, Cedric was like more of a suave character, more of, you know what I mean? Like smoother. But when you think about like Edward and stuff, Edward was kind of like a recluse also. But just Pattinson has the ability to have that charming side of him. I think it was just like that choice for this first movie to show you just where his mind state and what he was one track mind on being Batman. He didn't care about being Bruce.
You just hit us with a Twilight reference? You said Edward?
Yeah. Because Edward, I mean,
I know. Just
we're analyzing the actor, dude. Come on. We're
film critics. I'm just messing with you.
We're film critics around here, Llama. Come on.
Exactly. John Elite says the shot of Gore pushing the sword into Thor's chest is a callback to Thanos pushing Stormbreaker into Thor's chest in Endgame. Very good pick.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no. See, that's why there's people out there, man, smarter than us, man. But that's why we love them. We love them come on the channel for sure.
Yeah,
so that's a great point.
Yeah. Let's finish. Let's just wrap this up though.
Yeah. So again, we get the ending that we thought we would in terms of Jane making the ultimate sacrifice. The difference though is, which was a twist, which is you get to eternity, you get to the final, the place where you make your wish, right, or what you want, and Thor puts it on him, puts it on Gore to say, if it were me, I'd want them back. I'd want her back. And so he trades his life for hers, for his daughter, which is a great twist at the end. And it just, like I said, it brought some weight, right? It brought some brought the character full circle. I think it was great. And then the Jane part too was sad, that she had sort of given up at that point, or her life force was done. So
that was a touching scene.
It gave it the emotion it needed to close out the movie. So so that was good, man. So I mean, what did you think of that ending? I mean,
you talking about like the kid?
Yeah, with the kid coming back.
So the kid comes back, and basically it shows Thor's new adventure is going to be, they call him Dad Thor instead of Dad God, to Dad God or whatever. But I don't know how I feel about it. And that's his actual daughter, IRL. That's his real daughter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
And the kid that played, I think he has two twins. They played like the younger version of Thor in the beginning of the movie as well. All three of his kids were in the movie. But
that's awesome.
He was saying like he doesn't want his kids to be child stars, so I don't see them using her crazy. Like they just might like age her up, or maybe just like she stayed at home. Obviously, it's kind of weird how they ended it, where she's actually going to fight with him. I thought it was a cool concept, but it also is kind of like this. Why would you take care of the kid? Like I don't know. Maybe he was ready for that stage in his life. he I guess he probably losing Jane maybe made him feel like I need to fill this with something and do right by somebody or something. So I understand that part, but I just don't see where they can take it, because we did get right at the end and said, Thor will return. So it's like, how are they going to use this? And obviously the girl has powers now, the power of eternity, which is like a super buff. So it's like, you can't just sideline a character like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird. Like, did they write himself in a corner? We'll find out.
Well, you've got potential for another character, and you got potential for more Thor, right? But you're right. It depending on what the next level of the stories are going to go, you may or may not need him, or he may be sidelined. So we'll see. Let's see. We got some chat noise here. It's if anybody doesn't think The Dark Knight is the definitive Batman film, you're wrong. Okay. Strong hot take right there. Jay Birdie says, good night, everybody. So Jay Birdie's is leaving the show here. He says, but not you, Bruce. I hope you trip on your neck fat. Okay. He says, hey, D, you gaming.
Yeah, probably so, brother. Probably so.
All right. Let's see. We got someone new here. Big Smoke. Did you know that the modern Western Santa Claus is actually a whitewash of Thor?
I did not know that, actually.
I did not know that. Huh. Interesting take here, Big Smoke. John says Millie Bobby Brown is the teenage version. Okay. I could see that.
That'd be a good casting.
Yeah, for sure. And she's not in the MCU, right? No.
Yeah, that'd be a good casting.
Yeah. Derpy wants to know the Dark Knight trilogy revolves around Bruce's story, not Batman. So if you don't think Batman is better than the Dark Knight, you're a biased average movie viewer. Hot takes, Derpy. All right. All right. So then, the movie closes. We get Thor as the dad, and we've got the, Gore's daughter as with powers, and they're, they're going to go fight, and they don't show the fight. And then you go into the mid credits and post credit scene. So I thought the first mid credit scene was okay. It just didn't. I mean, I'm not interested in Hercules. So.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. Llama, gentlemen. Hi, Peter North here, old film star. Great new time. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter North. He's a good looking honky.
Listen. Oh my God. This comment just like sidelined me right now. If this is actually Peter North, if you're actually him, I bow to you, my friend. Thank you for filling my mind full of gutterless stuff in my youth. So but it's probably not him. So anyway, all Christian things are old pagan things. 100. Okay. Big Smoke. Personally, I feel like comic book culture has been hijacked in the last decade or so as a new age propaganda device, but I digress. All right, we're getting hot takes over here, man. Folks here
they've always talked about topics throughout all comic book eras. So it's not nothing new. I mean, Captain America is literally fighting Nazis. You know what I mean? Like, literally. It's like when you go back, you really start seeing like they had real world problems in these superhero things. And that's why they created the superhero. That's why superheroes, because like through war and stuff, like people like needed some kind of entertainment. They didn't have, TikTok. So it was like they couldn't do llama TikTok dances. So they had to read comic books.
Thanks for bringing that back up. Derby says the average movie viewers care about action flicks instead of the character of Batman and Bruce. And the Batman does all of it, but it's just coming from a DC fan, not movie flick fan. Okay. Good looking honkies give me the thumbs up. LOL. Let's just say I can shoot a bird off of a tree branch. Thanks. Keeping it G-rated tonight.
Thank you.
Wait a second. Is that Birdie? Oh, hold on. Jane says, I hope you're actually Peter North. this conversation's gone just off the rails. Jane, the only one, honey. Oh,
wow. This guy's a ladies' man.
Oh. Jane, all my best wishes to you. Thanks, Pete.
This guy got an old school. He's got like a 2008 text signature at the end of his chats.
I can't believe we're talking about Peter North on my the show.
I don't know who this guy is, so sorry, Peter.
You don't know who this guy is?
No, I don't know.
Okay,
Peter
okay.
North.
So AD, do
Maybe
me a
I guess
favor.
he's older than me. He's
No,
like,
Google
I'm not
this guy's
Googling
name
this
on
guy.
your phone. Do it. Do it.
I'm not doing that. No llama. No llama. No.
You can't make me. Oh my god. Let's see. Big Smoke. Derpy Gaming. That's why studios keep pumping out films without any proper character development or exposition. They only make movies to maintain licensing before they become public domain. Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
Derpy wants to apologize for his rant. Derpy, you don't need to apologize, my friend. Like you have a passionate take on Batman, and that's all right. I agree, though. Sometimes the studios do pump out a lot of stuff without exposition, just to try to get a franchise or some hot piece of material out. Let's see here. Adult Film Stars chat too.
You respect it.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Thank you. You're active in the chat.
You are for sure. Big Smoke, I will never spend another dime at the movie theater until I get my $13 back for This Is the
Yo, it's hilarious. So I'm never going back. Never.
Never.
You're not getting any more of my rare cents.
Let's see. Carry on, gentlemen. LOL.
Oh, thank you, pal. Thank you.
CAD, this is why you should watch old movies. Watch an old Peter North movie. Oh no. Not reading that.
Hercules.
Herc here.
Yeah.
I know Chat Mom can handle herself, but
also
this.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's hilarious. This is the end was amazing. Oh, we got conflicting views.
Oh no, we're gonna have a fight again. Oh my god. So the post-credit scene, you got the introduction of Zeus. I mean Hercules. Zeus is still alive, and sorry. Birdie. Hey, back off, Chat Mom Peter. Let's see. Honestly, at this point of DC films, I want Warner Brothers to sell to Disney, put Feige in charge. But them greedy bastards. No, they won't. They won't. Anyway, the chat is throwing me off. Like,
yeah, Llama's good. We could have finished this review a long time ago. Llama keeps going to the chat.
I do, and the chat keeps throwing me off. So anyway, I didn't think Hercules was a great character intro. I didn't really care for it. I don't know that it's what it's supposed to do, and then there was where were they at the end when you see
Valhalla?
Okay, so then it doesn't mean that they're back. It just means that they've reached their destiny. Yeah, that's it. So
they're confirmed dead. But
yeah.
I think it opens a way for them to come back, because if Hercules, because obviously it's based off a comic book too, so that's definitely what we're gonna see is Thor. But I think there's gonna be a way that could bring them back, just in terms of like if there's a battle of the gods, and like what Zeus was saying is like they don't respect us, and not just Thor, but just people in general. So it like might be like gods attacking Earth, or like something around that, and it's like they're gonna need some help, and they can get these people back. Plus, it's the MCU, so it's based off comic books. Nobody's really ever dead,
right?
So the fact that we actually get to see Jane Foster get there, and then we see Heimdall, it's like I think it was dope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll probably see Jane again.
Yeah, I do think we'll see them. We'll see her and Heimdall.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so Derby says again, pretty average 7.5 out of 10. Okay. All right, so that's our Thor Love and Thunder review. We've gone through the ups and downs of the review. We've got some interesting chat tonight. Holy shit.
Mhm.
Let's see. Jane says, I want to watch the Hercules movie, but not all the Thor's over. Okay. Oh shit. Somebody made it to the
This guy
chat.
I heard some
people
people
want to mess around and find out.
This guy came out of nowhere. Herc is here. Herc is here. And on the Twitch, there's so many D's in the chat, brother.
Yeah. So Herc, Herc is in the building. So Herc, we may or may not have adult film legend Peter North in our chat. We may or may not have him in the chat. The person allegedly saying he is Peter North is throwing some likes chat mom's way. So take that what you will. What's next is
Phase 4.
Yeah.
Next movie will be what is it? Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's gonna be the next one. And then I think they'll introduce like the actual villain of the total arc, and we'll see where we go. But I know we're getting Secret Wars. I don't know how soon we'll get Secret Wars, but I know that's where they're leaning towards. There's gonna be puzzles they have to place down and pieces they have to introduce for that to happen. But I think that's where overall the Marvel universe is going. And I think that's another reason, back to our earlier talk, was they don't really need to have a set storyline right now, because again, they're giving us these one-offs, not one-offs, but these like isolated stories, I think, to prepare us for one more, story arc that we're going to have to follow for quite some time. It's going to be through a lot of movies. And I don't like Secret Wars is not a small project. It's not like that's Endgame level 2-part, 3-part movie. You know what I mean? Like, think about like the Secret Wars is literally every Marvel character fighting themselves in like a multiverse. It's like a weird battle, villains versus good guys. It's like, so I think they're setting it up like that. But I kind of like the break of like not having that linear character to know we're coming against, because we just did that. We just did that for freaking 12 years. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need it now. Let us breathe a little bit. Let us have these movies that they're gonna connect in some way. They're all canon. Now you got the Disney Plus shows that are also canon with them. So it's like we're still getting the connected tissue. It's just not how we're used to. So I think that's where we're going though.
Right. You have Black Panther coming out. You have Guardians 3.
Oh yeah, Black Panther.
Potentially your Fantastic Four. You've got the X-Men and the Mutants are going to be reintroduced. So you've got a lot to work with. And the good thing is, and again, from an average fan's perspective, you're going to start to bring back, I think, some other characters that are more recognized in the mainstream. I like that they explore new characters and give you the ability to learn, but you do have to bring some people back. And so when you do the Fantastic Four, you do the X-Men, I think that brings back a little bit of a larger base back to the MCU. But the story is going to be cosmic. The story is going to be huge with the Secret Wars and everything else, that it will be just enough for everybody. And I think that may be the genius of this level. Yeah, we might get in the filler level right now, but it's building up to something huge. And so I like the fact that we're getting new characters. You've got the Marvels coming out, so you've got Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau, so they'll be their own movie. You just got a lot of things. You got She-Hulk, which I think is going to be, I don't know, silly. We'll have to talk about that one. So and I think we're getting Namor. I think somebody said in the chat, are we getting Namor? I think so. I think Namor is supposed to be introduced in Black Panther, I believe. So let's see. Again, we're just trying to, you're giving off real Bruce energy. Don't make me leave training and start to roast. We had some people chanting Hercules when he came back on the chat.
He pulled it like a superhero.
Right. Little did you know, Herc is the only here because someone said this is the end song. He had no idea the other reason.
That's hilarious.
Derby Gaming said, well, let's set up the actual multiverse with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantum.
Yeah, I mean, I think the multiverse is set up at this point. There's a lot of things like they haven't explained, and I think that's the movie that we're going to see. And I also think, with Kang being in it, it's going to have a lot of implications to the multiverse. So You're right. I think you're onto something there, Derpy.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, John Elite says, "Isn't She-Hulk and Miss Marvel?" As for the movies, I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
She-Hulk is after Miss Marvel.
Jay Birdie says, "Easily greatest llama show ever." I know what he was trying to say. Are we getting Namor? We answered that. And then Derpy, something is going to change because they have to set up Blade, Fantastic Four, and X-Men. Yeah, so
Yep.
the tone will shift completely, and you'll get these more grounded characters, and you still got the Eternals out there with freaking Harry Styles, and you've got a lot of unresolved questions from this phase. Shang-Chi is still out there. I mean, you're missing the opportunity if you don't bring him back to collaborate with other heroes. So again, you've got a lot to work with, and this is, again, listen, man, we're living in the freaking golden age of like comic books and movies and stuff. I mean, this is crazy. It's just insane that we get all this content, all this stuff that's become mainstream. So, again, let's see. I think that's it for the chat, man. Listen, are you? So the question is for you: what's next for you there, Blackout? What are you doing tonight? What are you doing this week? What's coming up for you this week, man?
Just school, work, stream when I can, and probably gonna stream after for a little bit. I am tired as hell, but I definitely want to game a little bit, I think. For sure.
All right, let's see. We got someone from your Twitch stream here. Dark Sage says, "I'm perhaps in the minority on this one, but I'm not a fan of the MCU or the movies in it. I am an avid comic book reader, and I hold true to the idea that you do not change characters or their stories unless absolutely needed. So suffice to say, it's not a fan of Thor, Love and Thunder."
Hey, but that's like you said, you're a comic book reader, so you're more pure on the stories that you've read, and I understand that too, because there's things that they have to change, or they change because of the times, or trying to fit it to a movie, and really, you know what I mean. It kind of hinders what the comic books were as well, and there's a part of me that thinks that, but I personally just like watching it's like watching the comic books live. Like I didn't grow up reading comic books, unfortunately, and this is my way of getting that fix, as an adult, and I enjoy that. But I honestly get what you're saying, Dark Sage.
Yeah, and she's Dark Sage says, "I know that's an unpopular, but I just dislike that Marvel and Disney are chasing after casual fans." That's fair. And Hercules says, "Valid stuff there, Dark Sage, for sure."
Yep.
Derpy had something here. In my opinion, those three are the only films I'm excited and I'm interested and I might check out. Ant-Man 3, just to see the explanation of the multiverse. Yeah. Here's what I want to say, because I got a lot of new people in here: Derpy, Dark Sage, John Elite. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Honestly, like no bullshit. Like, if you like this kind of stuff, you want to join us week to week, every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like AD and the gaming stuff, and it's not just gaming, it's late night talk show, it's UFC fight nights, it's Call of Duty, it's Pokemon, it's everything. So if you want a little of everything, make sure you're following and subscribing to Blackout AD. It's BLKOUT_AD on Twitch. Make sure you follow this guy. And again, if you want to support my channel and you'd like to come back or watch some more information, the Big Llama Show, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So I just want to make sure, because we had so many new people tonight. Looks like we had a great night of folks discovering the channel for sure. Someone's asking, AD, what's the latest and greatest with the schooling? So you were doing ads and stuff, right?
Yeah. This week I started learning a little bit of editing. So that's going to be something good to have under my belt, because that's what I lack. Like, I put out a crazy amount of content and I just don't utilize it after, or edit anything, or even like making videos, not streaming, but making actual videos, because I don't know how to edit. So I think that's one thing that I've been excited to start learning this week, and I'm going to continue to learn throughout this schooling experience. But the ads thing, like really utilizing, learning my voice, learning how to use my voice to sell the ads, putting music beds on it, all that. Like, I really put together a couple ads this week, and I'm like, man, that's kind of dope. Like, a good experience, because when I start selling ads for YouTube or Twitch and stuff, I already have that under my belt, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to it, perfecting it. I also think that like I feel like I'm really learning that I'm kind of not meant for this, but I fit this lane, because like when I'm doing these voice ad reads and stuff like that, I'm kind of like, yo, like I love doing this. I could tell when I'm doing like video stuff or like even the editing, I like fall out of it a little bit. But when it's like about broadcasting and like actually talking in the mic and hearing myself and like, oh, how can I fix it? How can I make this word sound a little better? I enjoy that. And even like we did like mock interviews and I was just like flowing through the interviews, which, this is something I've always talked about I want to do. But like actually experiencing it in a new environment with like new people and like people like critiquing how I'm interviewing, they're like, oh wow, like you're actually pretty good, like keep doing that, change this. Well, they're giving me actual critiques. I'm like, oh, I can see myself growing in this. So I gotta keep obviously school just started. I'm only in week 2, but the amount of knowledge I've learned through these 2 weeks, I'm like, yo, I can see myself utilizing for Twitch, utilizing it for the show, and really like growing as a broadcaster and as a entertainer, So like I'm excited, man. I'm glad I made the choice. And like my boy right here, my boy Forrest Tack, go follow him on Twitch. He's another one of those sweaty guys that gets wins if you want to see some good gameplay. But definitely I think like once I learn editing, I think it's gonna have a big effect on like my upcoming content, because I have no footprint on YouTube, besides like a couple videos on your channel, the video me and homie have done that has like, it's still growing, it's like 1,000+ views. Like other than that, I have no real like edited videos unless Herc edits it. But like Herc has his own things that he's got to do. So I feel like it's just another tool I need, to make me like a 5-tool player.
No, for sure. And Forrest says, once you learn to edit, the sky's the limit.
Yes, sir.
And he's giving you a little bit of kudos here. Says you're going to be great.
Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate you stopping by, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hercules is proud of you guys. The grind has been showing, and I couldn't be happier with the channels you guys have created. So yeah, no, I mean, listen, it's a constant grind. What I would tell people is this: like, all right, if you're just catching AD, you're catching him on the start of something that I'm telling you is going to be big. Again, the fact that this dude is putting in the work, the effort to just try to learn the craft, you're going to see a big difference in his channel. And you've already seen the difference. If you guys have been watching him over the last couple of weeks, over the last month or so, you've seen the gradual changes. He's upgrading the sound, he's upgrading the look, he's upgrading, the different formats and the templates. Why? Because he understands that he's got to get better at this. So trust me, if you guys want to subscribe, you guys want to follow this guy, you're going to see the big changes. And wouldn't it be awesome to tell the story of, look, man, I was there when it first started, when we were there at 10, when we were there at 20 people. And now, when he gets to 100,000 viewers, whatever, you'll be there on the ground floor. The guys that are coming in, the guys who are starting with us here. So be part of that. Be part of that whole like experience and join and grow with us. So that's my plug for you, man, for sure. No problem. Jane here said, once you learn and see how certain things are and edit wise, you can unsee them and it truly changes your life for sure.
Yeah, and that's one thing too, like, everybody has a style of content, and that's one thing I was like learning. Like even like her editing my videos, like I see them a certain way and he sees them a certain way. And obviously he gives me always great content back. But I keep thinking like it would be dope, like, because eventually I'm gonna outsource my editing. I'm gonna get to a point where, or at least I hope I'm gonna get to a point where I can just hire an editor to edit my videos and I don't have to do it. But the beauty of me editing them early on, I'm gonna find my voice and how I want my videos to feel, or how how the story. We always talk about storylines, how storylines in the videos flow, and then it would be easier for me to show an editor, this is what I want my product to look like. And as opposed to like right now, it's like I don't really know what my I'm trying everything. I don't know what my content's gonna be like, but I do know like I'm getting better. I'm finding different things that I'm enjoying to do. Like when we do the fight nights, it's like, oh yeah, UFC is definitely something that, one, people engage with me well with, and two, like I have a passion to watch that every time, and I could sit here for hours and watch a fight card and just talk about the storylines and what's going on in that. And not to keep rambling about myself, but just what we're doing, we say it every week. What we're doing, we're really growing with this. The chat today was like, look at how popping the chat was today. Like new people, all people who've been
Insane.
here before, they came back. Force Tack, I know he's definitely stopped by early on, but like
Right.
seeing him here, you know what I mean? Like come through, like that means a lot, man. And it's the same thing with the raids, like how dope I felt after we raided people and was like, oh, like we're passing now we have a community we can showcase to people, and like this is what it's like to be in our community, and people feel that, man. Like people have been feeling what we're building, and like you said earlier, it's only going to get taken to another level, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I said, listen, guys, I have loved to see the new faces. It's great to see new energy up in the chat. Again, Derpy, again, he agrees with Dark Sage on that. That what happened to Ragnarok, so he completely agrees with them.
Yeah.
So guys, again, this is awesome. This is awesome. So we're gonna wrap up the show. We're gonna talk about what's gonna happen this week. And then AD, you're gonna do a post Llama stream, so you're gonna be on your channel still. Chatting and playing and doing some stuff. So if you guys want to continue the conversation, go over to Twitch. If you're not on Twitch already, go over to Twitch, go to Blackout AD's channel. You'll continue the stream over there. And I like to do some editing and then I come right back. I might come back to his show. But guys, here's what's coming up this week. So we've got we just put out Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That's the newest video that's out right now. If you like those types of movies, check that out. I'm going to be doing the next movie, which is Snatch. Hopefully, I'll have it out by tomorrow. And then, then I'll record a new movie. And the funny thing is I don't know what movie I'm going to record. I have no idea. Sometimes it's planned. Sometimes it's sort of,
Can I ask why you stopped doing the polls?
It's not that I like the polls when I have a theme that I want to hit and I have like choices. But lately, my only reason is that I've been so busy, like with the personal stuff, that I finally sit down on a Monday and say, like for example, this week has been crazy, right? I haven't been able to sit down to record until like Thursday or Friday. And typically I would have recorded on Monday and edited throughout the week. And so it's just been out of timing. When I get like a theme that I want to hit, like for example, war movies and westerns, I don't know anything about them, so I'm going to need help to get it. Now the only thing is I did this random community chat, which I got a lot of responses, and I just said, help me pick movies. I don't know which movies I want to watch, and I probably got like 200 movies out of that chat. So so I've got a good list right now, and I've got a good sort of good thing going. But as soon as I need to sort of narrow down a theme, although I may do it for Halloween, because I'm going to need Halloween movies coming up and holiday movies, because those two they're hard. They're hard to pick.
Yeah, but that's because you don't want to watch movies you haven't seen. I mean, you only want to watch movies you haven't seen.
Well, I do have a couple that I have in the back burner that I'm going to watch that I definitely want to make sure, like again, I've said it, I'm going to do probably Scarface, because that's my all-time favorite movie. We're probably going to do Goodfellas at some point. And then there's Malibu's Most Wanted with you guys, and Ready to Rumble with Birdie. So they've got a couple things in the hopper. But again, guys, this week, make sure you guys check it out. And I want to just say, like in today, just in this show, we gained I think it was 5 or 6 subscribers.
Yeah, nice.
Just in this show tonight. So I want to thank everybody who was liking and subscribing tonight. Come back next week. Again, Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to the Big Llama Show. Always myself and AD. We host it. We talk about the most popular thing out there, but we really let the chat kind of drive us. Tonight was crazy. Tonight was a crazy ass chat. So and Jane wants to give a parting shot for Bruce. No independent film category. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, go to Blackout AD over on Twitch if you want to continue the discussion. He'll be streaming there shortly. Sir. And we'll see you guys next week, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Big Llama Show. Peace out, everybody.
Later.